Hey, welcome to this After Effects tutorial. In this video, we're gonna create a Synthwave Outrun retro wave blah blah wave inspired sun. So this is the iconic look that you see everywhere in the Synthwave Outrun. Whatever you do a Google search and you'll find this. So let's get into our After Effects right now. Let's create a new composition. I'm using a HD 30 frames per second. You can use whatever size you want. And so first up, we are going to go to our ellipse here, create a circle. I am just going to have a white fill and no stroke. So I'm clicking Alt. I'm holding Alt and clicking the stroke to toggle. And then I like to double click on the ellipse here so that it is placed in the center. And then after that, I go into my ellipse path here, uncheck the constraint, gives me a 300 by 300 pixels, and there I have my sun. And I'm looking for the gradient ramp here, gradient ramp. Let me bring the top point down and the bottom point up. Just choose a orangey color for now and a pink and a pinkish color here. Yeah, that will do. We can always change the colors anytime later. Okay, so I'm gonna add the lines effect. A very quick way we can do this. Okay, blah blah blah. A very quick way we can do this is to actually use the Venetian blind. So what I created a white solid here. Venetian blinds. And then let me set my transition. As you can see, this is what's happening. So my direction, I give it a 90 degrees. No feather. My width, I can keep it at 20 pixels. And then I'll give a 50% completion. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use an alpha mask. Let me rename this to my circle. And then track matte to, if you don't have this, you can use the F4 and track matte my white solid. I can rename this Venetian blinds just so that you can see what's happening. So because of the transition, it is creating a line effect here with the Venetian blinds, and then I am using this as a alpha matte. So what I can do is to keyframe the position. So this is X and Y. Let's go to 3 seconds, and then can add 20 pixels. 20 pixels because my width here is 20. And then let me loop this. So alternate and click on this stopwatch right here. Loop out. I think it should be correct. And then you will loop this, animate this, loop this animation. What am I talking? So it's kind of slow. If it's a bit slow for you, you can move this over to 2 seconds. Oops. Move this over to 2 seconds here. and then you can see it. So instead of using this is just one way to create this. Let me close this, put this away. We can use the shape layer. Let's select our rectangle. Let me double click on the rectangle, and then let me turn off this track map, and then in the rectangle I open up the path here and check the constraint. So 1920 is the width, 1080 is the height. Let's do 20 pixels, the same. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this up above the circle, above the sun, and then change I'll add this repeater. So under contents, add here repeater, and then increase the copies. Oh, you don't see anything. Okay, so go into the transform for the repeater. This is X and Y. So this means that we are repeating across the X axis. And let's do 20. Okay, we need to double that to 40. And we don't need so many copies. So this is one. Let's just take a look at it first before we continue. Oh yes, we need to animate this. Go to 2 seconds is fine, I guess. Position, let's bring it up a little higher. Keyframe here, 2 seconds. Add 20. And then let's loop this as well. Let's just copy this. Alt click. Let's see how it looks like. What's happening? Right. So this will probably need to be 40 instead. Because wait, let's look at it first. Yes, that's right. So this has to be 40 instead. My mistake. Because the repeater is repeating it 40 pixels down. So I need to animate it 40 pixels down and then loop it. It's a mouthful. Okay, if we change this to 20 instead, our size has to be 10, and then I will increase our copies. Okay, 22 copies. And then my position here, to simplify it, let me do 200 and negative 180. Damn. Okay, so let's pause this for a moment. Select everything. Control-Shift-C, pre-comp all this. Let's just call it the sun. You can name it to what makes sense. And then, oops. So I will go, so this is comp 1, okay, whatever. So I will use this, and then let's create some glow effects. Let's do wait. Let me duplicate this first. Let's set a background. Set the background to maybe a dark cyan blue. And then after that, the bottom layer, let's do an add. Let's do, okay, so there you can experiment with different types of blurs. You can use a Gaussian blur. And then because this is an add, it will kind of glow. You can use a fast box blur. You turn off the Gaussian blur, you can use a fast box blur. Just try the horizontal. You can get this effect here. Then lastly, you can add a glow effect here. Let's turn the fast blur off first. And then play around with the settings of the glow intensity, glow threshold, or all this. And then you can stack the blur on, can play around with the sequence. You can put the Gaussian blur over, doesn't seem to make a difference. Just play around with it. Maybe you want the fast blur, another one to be vertical instead, but not so much. And then finally you can play with the sequence, whether this is above this one or this one is above that one. And then you can also change the opacity. So I would like to have just a bit here, just a bit of my vertical blur, a bit more of my horizontal blur, and then let's play a preview and see how it looks like here. And then you can play some synthwave music to go along with this and just be hypnotized by your creation. Okay, let's get back in. So I want the top part to be what do you want the top part to be? I want the top part to be covered, and then only the bottom part to give that kind of gradient look. So I go to my rectangle, double click again, and then you'll create a second rectangle. Go to the rectangle path, open it up, uncheck this. So half of my circle, remember that it was 300 pixels. Remember that it was 300 pixels. So let's do 175. 175, and then X and Y. Let's move this up. The problem I have now, move this repeater into the rectangle. Okay, so let's go back and we'll see what happens. So this repeater, okay, let's close everything. So this repeater is repeating both rectangle 1 and rectangle 2. So I don't want to do that because so I realized that when I was moving this rectangle, so this repeater is supposed to be inside rectangle 1, and right below, yes, so when you look at the sequence, repeater inside rectangle 1, rectangle 2 is a separate thing. So from contents outside, 2 rectangles only. Let's open a rectangle 2 and then yes, we can go up to position. So this is 0. Half of it will be okay, I can't do my maths. This looks fine. Okay, let's preview this. I think it looks kind of well. What I will change is to increase the size of the first rectangle. Instead of 175, maybe we go for like 225, and then just bring it down a little bit. Just give that like not half and half kind of thing. That's kind of interesting. Yeah. And then you can go back to your glows and see how it looks like. And take a look at it in the glows with the glowing effect. And then how you can kind of add to this is maybe bring some text to the out. Let's do it out. Run. It's pretty lame, but okay, let's align it. Let's choose a nice font. I'm using a Tahoma, nothing fancy. Bring up. Let me bring out this. Okay, this is just for show. Oops, I meant to do this. And then let's apply the same gradient ramp onto Outrun, and then mode. Sensor alpha treatment. Let's change the size of this. Bring it, and then after that bring it down. Increase the size some more. So I'm just doing this for show, as in I'm doing it just to show what it looks like, but so that you get the idea. You know what would be cool actually? Let's use the sun as the O. Let's use the sun as the O. Outrun. Change it to the capital, all capital over here. Let's move our circle to the left, Outrun. Outrun. O-U-T-R-A-N, Outrun. Right. You spell it wrongly. Outrun. And then let's just keep pushing this idea. Oh, the lines are not enough. The lines are not filling it up enough. Let's go to our rectangle 1. Increase the copies. Okay, Synthwave-ish. This one we can go smaller. And then bring it up to the left. Increase the spacing here. So what I'm doing, I actually just using the top layer. So this has become my stencil essentially, and my stencil, you can't see it. Let me turn off this. Still cannot see. Right, I'm turning it back to normal. So my stencil is this block here and all these lines, and then I'm using stencil alpha to create my Outrun Outrun Synthwave-ish. And then let's go back to our comp. Ta-da! And let's play and see how it looks like. It feels like it's coming on you, like wave after wave after wave after wave after wave. Alright, cool. I'm going to save this and then put it up on Google Drive if you are interested to download the project file after I clean this up as well. If you're interested to download the project file, just give me your email and I will send you the link to the Google Drive where if you are interested to take a look at this. Thank you very much for watching. In the next video, I will create a wave-like effect based on our Outrun sun here.